As promised, back at the Larry Bruno Foundation, I was telling Gino DeMarco at Geneva how much I love what they've done here. It's literally like walking through history. So before we talk about number 12 in your New York Jets program before the big game in 1969 in Miami, I'm literally at a loss for words. I cannot believe what Mr. Higgins has done, and we're going to let him. It may take a little while, but bear with me. If you love high school sports, and it's so important why we are doing what we are doing on KDK Radio, because this history has to live on forever. So tell everybody what we're about to let them listen into.
Well, we got a new display at the museum. It's not just me, Rob. It's the Larry Bruno Foundation. As a team, we do everything together.
I know that.
Okay. But we're trying to
though.
make the museum as interesting as we can. And we want some interactive displays. And we have our very first interactive display. We're standing in front of it. And how better way to honor WBVP, who's been in Beaver Falls since 1948. They've recently moved to Brighton Township, but a staple in Beaver County, of course, WBVP, and have broadcast many sports events over the years. And we thought, wouldn't that be cool to get an old radio and rig it up with some old sports calls from not only Beaver Falls, from the whole county in general. And that's what we did. This radio was donated by Mark Peterson, the former owner of WBVP. Mm-hmm. He gave us the radio. We had a technician come in and he rigged the thing up. And as the sign says, this is an interactive display. And Rob, we have 12 buttons on here, and each button is a radio call of a famous game. For example,
and he's going to let you know who the play-by-play voice is and the actual play. Go ahead.
For example, we have 2005, Lance Jeter shot to beat Aliquippa in the Whitfield basketball championship game. We have Jim Frederick's call of that. We have Beaver softball when they won their 40th game in a row with Peyton List leading the way. We have the call there. I think that was Bobby Barrickman on that one. We have Pudgy Abercrombie running for a touchdown. I'm not sure when Pudgy played. I didn't have a date on that one. We have Darrell Rivas with Beaver Falls winning state basketball title. It goes on, guys. There's 12. We got Blackhawk basketball. We have Rochester. I mean, this isn't just Beaver Falls, bro.
Now listen.
But the coup de grace, real quick,
okay,
is the very first sports broadcast ever on WBVP was 1949.
They opened for business in 48.
Aliquippa State Championship game. And guess what? We got a snippet of it.
Let's listen. Go ahead.
Which one you want to hear?
We're going to hear as many as we got time for, which I'm the one running the show, so we're going to listen to most of them. All right, go ahead. Fire it up.
Let's listen to Pudgy Abercrombie run for a touchdown.
Aliquippa.
Hey, calling the signals for the Quip offense. Pitch out goes to Abercrombie, trying to find running room. He's to the 25, the 30, all the way to the 40, the 45. He could go all the way. He's inside the 40, to the 30, to the 25, the 20, to the 15. Raphael Abercrombie is in for an Aliquippa touchdown. And they're going bananas on the Aliquippa center field. Pudgy Abercrombie waits out in there with the side.
Bob Barrickman, the late Bob Barrickman.
Say you're into Blackhawk basketball. Got a little treat for you.
Blackhawk will throw in. 10 seconds to go. Huber passes it. Canamesa. Ball comes to Huber. Look out. Blackhawk has 3 seconds to go. They're going to do it. They get the shot down the fire. Blackhawk has won the state championship. They have won the state championship. Can't you believe it? I'm going to tell you what, God. The Blackhawk Cougars, they might have been the Blackhawk Kittens. They were so young at the beginning of the season, but now they are the courageous Cougars, and you know who? They are a AAA state champion.
Maybe you're into football. Maybe you're into basketball.
Come on, give me some Gabe Jackson.
You want to hear some New Brighton? We got New Brighton, baby. Gabe Jackson, game winner.
His pass to Jackson. Inside the 5
All right, gotta do 2 more.
2 more. I'd say
3 more.
Let's throw in some girls.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, we were limited on what we can get. We couldn't get everything, but what they gave us. Here's a little Beaver softball.
Peyton List now getting back on the rubber, and here's the pitch. High pop up. It's playable. WPIL champions with an undefeated record.
Great.
And that's the first time in WPIL softball history that a team has gone back-to-back with perfect seasons.
Too many talents to mention. I mean, legendary names like Jim Reynolds, Chuck Wilson, Chris Shovlin, Bill Fontana, Mike Romai, the great Mike Romai. So many. But when you think of what Bob Barrickman did during his time behind the microphone, he spread the love. He gave everyone an opportunity to have that sport that they loved, including softball. So I will always be impressed with that. I want to go 1949, the first sports broadcast ever on WBVP.
Okay, let me explain this one real quick. It was a very long tape. It was the whole game.
Right.
And we took just the very beginning, a few seconds, a little piece of the middle of the game, and then the end of the game. So it's three little pieces kind of put together.
Is it Ernie Klein or Chuck Wilson on the call? Do you know?
I think it's Chuck Wilson.
Okay, go ahead.
First broadcast ever on WBVP.
Evening basketball fans, this is Chuck Wilson speaking to you from Convention Hall in Philadelphia. Here we're about to look in on the Pennsylvania State Championship game. Here we go for the tip now, and Hans Wallace will throw it up this time. There it is in the toss. This time it's taken by York. He loses the ball. It's picked up by Lou Brown, and then he passes down on the right side. The stuck in it. Hitter passes out into the middle. It's taken out there by Dave Ritter, who sits in the back part of the circle, and it's off. That's takes the rebound off. Gives it to Jerry Montini for Alex Hooker. This is for the state championship. Over to Phoenix on the left side. Down the next one is Joe Vickers. He moves out of the ball. Stands on the left side. Passes in there. And the pass is taken by York, by Dave Ritter. Ritter passes the ball over on the right side. It's taken over there by Ron Simmons. Simmons is down on the right. Gives the ball over to Brown. Brown gets it to Simmons. He shoots in the corner. Ball goes over the rim. Cuts down. And let's see what's called. A foul on Jerry Montini of Alex Hooker.
Jerry Montini. He's still around, isn't he? First time they ever won a state.
Listen to me. This is how people used to, whether it was 7th Avenue or 11th Street, Beaver Falls, or in New Brighton, Rochester, they would look at their radios.
Like we are.
Right. Exactly. I mean, it's because it's theater of the mind, and it's why it's so important to continue to do this. We're going to do two more, and then we're going to get ready to talk about that big game in which Mr. Namath is responsible for the NFL being the brand that it is today. But this place, and as I mentioned at Geneva College, if you love high school sports and you're connected to this community or you're connected to that name, Joe Namath, you need to get a hold of him or any of the great team members here at the foundation and visit this place. All right, these are two incredible ones. First off, to a town that I lived in for many years, a lot of respect. Recently, Gene Matzuk decided to step away. The Steelers were in town to honor him. He and his brother did incredible things there. And this is a state championship football win for Rochester. Here's how it sounded. I tell you, it's hard to not get emotional listening to this stuff. Last one, Jeter shot.
It's my favorite. Must say my favorite. He hit two shots that night, beat the Quips, and forever will resonate. Maybe the single biggest sports play in Beaver Falls sports history.
Top 5, I believe, in the Valley all-time play-by-play calls.
Jim Frederick made the call, and I'll tell you what, every time I hear it,
we hired Jimmy for a while, and
I want to go play.
One of the best play-by-play voices ever. Go ahead, hit it.
10.3 seconds to go in this AA championship at the Palumbo Center. Second one for Mark Lay. On its way. No, head out. Rebound on the floor. It's Henderson up ahead to Henderson. Henderson with the basketball. That's here for the ball. That's here. It's the basket.
Were you there? No.
I couldn't get in.
Half court, lost the ball, got it back. 10 seconds to go. Drive, left side. Way up. It's scored for the football. Brandon Lindsay scores. Last year at the buzzer.
Oh, come on now. Man, that's
Yes!
like a front burner, baby. That's some real
Never
home
gets
cooking.
old. Never gets old.
All right, this is what you can do. One of the many things you can do at this foundation. And now the reason we're here, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about why what Name It did in Miami in the winter of 1969, the big game number 3, changed the course of the National Football League. It has built it into a multi-billion-dollar brand, and it's why not only the big game is going to be as big, if not bigger than ever, but they're playing around the world too. That's what Mr. Goodell has done. But if you ask anybody, it really was in January of 1969, that same year that we landed on the moon. We were on the launching pad with Broadway Joe and Mr. Maynard and Weeb Eubanks in that incredible night that no one will forget. We'll be back with more at the Larry Bruno Foundation with Steve Higgins in just a moment.